Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about adult bedwetting. No, for real though, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it kind of in a new way than I have been talking about it. What I'm going to sort of go into is why adult bedwetting is not your fault. I've been thinking about this really hard recently because a lot of people out there do think it's their fault. To this day, I sometimes still think it's my fault that I wet the bed and that somehow I've done this to myself and that it's my problem and I shouldn't have to put this problem on others. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of you will feel that way. And I know that a lot of you have actually said that before in comments and emails, and it's sad. I totally get it though. Like, I totally know what you mean. It feels like you're completely alone because no one really wants to talk about it with you because it's kind of a weird thing to start sort of bringing into casual conversation, but it's something I think we should talk about. I think the number one misconception about adult bedwetting is that it's the same as infant or a child wetting the bed. And it's not. It's completely different. I am a firm believer that from what science says about adults, I would agree that it takes 25 years for you to be fully developed. And here I am today, 25 years later, still feeling not fully developed. But there's some strong scientific reasoning that 25 years it takes you to develop your body, develop your brain cells, develop your bones, and just become the being that you are. So in my mind, that means that it could take up to 25 years to not wet the bed. No, not really, not necessarily, because your bladder is still a small organ in a child's body. When you're a young kid, I guess under the age of 4, it's still acceptable to still be having bladder struggles during the day and night. So it's more acceptable as a young child, not necessarily like a full-grown child, to still be wetting the bed. Because it makes sense. Their nervous system isn't fully developed, therefore it's not sending signals to their brain to go to the bathroom when they need to go. And then not even that, just that the nervous system doesn't know what a full bladder feels like, so how are they to know when to go to the washroom? It's like saying, well, it's like when someone tells you when do you feel full, but when you're a child, it's not quite like that. Your system is just developing and it's normal, right? So it's normal for a child to be wetting the bed until the age of 4 or 5, I guess, is what the internet says. What else does the internet say though, which I think is very interesting? What does the internet say about children and kids who wet the bed? Is to support them. Support them. Like, don't tell them it's their fault, because it's not. They're not doing it on purpose. So that begs the question in my brain, what's the difference for adults? Why would people think that we're doing it on purpose? More importantly, why do we think to ourselves that we're doing this on purpose? Or subconsciously? That's not fair. While I agree we should of course still be very supportive of each other and anyone who wets the bed, unfortunately, that doesn't normally lead to a life of not wetting the bed anymore like it would in a child. We understand that a child's gonna grow out of it. But I know that most kids probably stop wetting the bed at age 5 or 6. Like I said, I agree that we should be supportive of each other. Unfortunately, just being supportive and hoping that we will outgrow it and go away doesn't make it go away. It's annoying, right? Like, we want it to go away. We think that we're gonna outgrow it one day. I mean, especially if you're my age, going through high school and going to university and stuff like that and still being like, damn, I still wet the bed. You're like, oh, okay, maybe my body isn't fully developed, but it should be. It should be. We aren't just a full nation of bedwetters. I mean, it's at least 13 to 20% of the population, and I know that's including adults that are generally older, who at that point, again, it goes from one lifespan to another, where it's expected that you will start wetting the bed or having more incontinence issues when you get older. So that's including all age groups of the adults over 18 who wet the bed. But it's still a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Why are we talking about this? I don't think anyone's gonna agree with you to say that wetting the bed is fun. I know if you're like me, you've wet the bed most or all of your life. You've heard it all. You've heard people who say they enjoy or they want the attention. It's like people who want to make you think that. I've heard psychiatrists and therapists ask me these, and I for at one point did believe that, or there's a possibility that it could be a subconscious thing that I have put into my brain, but there's also so many physiological reasons why people wet the bed and overactive bladder at the same time. So while people might try and put the idea in your brain that it's about you and it is your fault, there's lots of evidence against it. It's like saying, so you thought about it too much, or you didn't think about going to the bathroom enough to the point where you developed a physiological problem. I'm not saying that's not true. There's probably cases of that, but I can't agree with everyone being that problem, that we made it our fault. So what I want to get across is that your bedwetting should not be put on you as your fault. Ever. That is not fair in any way of looking at it. I would say there's too much pressure these days, or ever, to be completely perfect. But to know that you made this your fault is so uncool. It's so not fair. So I did mention in my previous video about 10 things you didn't know about your bladder but probably should, was that one thing about bedwetting and overactive bladder is that it can be hereditary, which I don't think gives me much peace of mind because like if both your parents have had a bladder issues in the past when they were younger or such, it's more likely, like they say up to 77%, or even if just one parent has it, can be like 30 to 50% that you'll get it. And it's not very much, like I said, not much peace of mind, but they're saying that can be a leading cause in bedwetting. But my question is, like, where did those parents get it? Like, why did this start? I don't know. Just like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make me feel any better, first of all. But the other physiological and neurological signs of bedwetting can be an abundance of things. So to narrow it down to just one thing is almost impossible. Well, I would say it's pretty much impossible. So while we're here judging ourselves and feeling bad that we wet the bed, it's not our fault. And I just want to drill that idea home, that it's so not about you. And if for some reason you know that it is, then, and you know the cause, that makes you feel so much better. Like, what actually is the problem? Like, that's how I felt when I finally, I guess, had some sort of diagnosis. Well, that's another thing, is adult bedwetting can be a symptom of something else entirely. And that's like I keep saying to people and in my videos, like, it isn't just about one thing. It may be the leading symptom of something else. Like MS you can have overactive bladder and adult bedwetting in the diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, MS. But it's just so important to like not leave those like embarrassing things behind and then just go and find out what they could be, because it could make your life so much easier. It could, or it could just mean that you have other things going on that were hidden and you didn't know about. Regardless of the reason why you as an adult wet the bed, or a teenager, I don't think that matters so much, as there is so much hidden help, I would say, that it's not very widely spread to know more about your bladder and to know why these things are happening to you and to get tested for such things. But also just online, like, there's so much support. Like, the other day I was sitting with my therapist and I was just started talking about it, and I was just telling her what I was doing on YouTube. And she's like, have you ever thought about going to downtown Ottawa or something, like in my city, and seeing if there's like an actual support clinic? And I kind of looked it up, and lo and behold, there was something in the area that I could talk about, like just similar diagnoses with overactive bladder or something like that. But it was there. I never thought of looking. So regardless of the diagnosis you have, there is help. There's also products. You don't have to be a baby or an elderly person to buy diapers. I mean, I order them online. It's discreet. No one knows what I'm ordering these days, because I used to go to the store and buy them. You can wear pads during the day or diapers during the day, however you need to protect yourself and live a fairly normal life on the outside. And then start to find ways to deal with it when you don't have to tell everyone about it. That's the other thing, is I just feel like so empowered to tell people about this sort of stuff. Like, it just means so much to me, and I just want to just have people know that it's not your fault, and you shouldn't feel judged for it. You shouldn't be judging yourself for it. Like, I just have so much to say. And I just really, it's really difficult. In no way I'm trying to say that it's easy and just like do this and deal with it and get on with your life. No, but it's just something we'll need to do is to cope during the times that we're struggling. I think that's what's really important. And finding someone you can talk to about it. Talk to me about it. I don't mind. I love hearing your story. Well, love, but I like hearing from you guys and like listening to your stories and reading them and communicating it with you in any way. Sometimes I'm slow responding because I do have an actual job and it kind of sucks, but I really do enjoy like talking to you guys and just learning about things. Like I wouldn't have known about you guys had I not started this channel. So like, tell me what you think about this video in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Like I really do. And I want to be a part of your lives as much as you're a part of mine if you watch me whenever I upload videos. And I guess in ending, I just want to say that even though everyone's struggle is going to be a little bit different, I'd hope that somewhere along the line that you'd find some relief from your symptoms of overactive bladder or bedwetting. They are out there. And there is proof. I've read it in the comments from certain people who have had real good success with the InterStim and Botox and stuff like that. There is success out there. It's just on its way. It's working. Like I am always excited to hear about those sort of things. So and I've had 2 InterStim surgeries and I've had Botox twice. I've had Botox twice? I can't even remember. I think I've had Botox twice in my bladder. Like I'm just kind of going backwards, but I've gone through such a rigmarole of things. Like eventually, like it may work, it may not, but it's just good to feel hopeful about it and know that's not your fault and you're doing something good for yourself. So that's just what's been on my chest recently. I hope you guys liked this video. It was a little bit of a rant, a little bit of like some knowledge, a little bit of just a lot of it about how I feel. So yeah, so please leave a comment if you'd like. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I post videos, like daily videos there sometimes, like on the Instagram story, and I post little funny quirks about my everyday life, like, and you guys can comment, we can talk in the comments or in direct messaging. Like that's probably the most easiest way to get a hold of me, or in just the YouTube comments below, or I have my email address. It's oliviarobinvlogs@gmail.com. And all my links are in the description. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, I'm also there. Same thing, Olivia Robin. I think it's at Olivia Robin Vlogs with the @ symbol. But anyways, now I'm just ranting. So yeah, it's not your fault. And if you disagree with me, I would love to hear what you have to say. Like I said, everyone's a little bit different, but if you have some sort of something else you want to add to this, please leave it in the comments. Like I said, I read them every day. Anyways, I hope you all have a good night, good day, or wherever you are at this time zone. Right now it is 11:30 at night, and I gotta get up at 7 in the morning. I shall talk to you guys in the next video, and I will see you all then. Okay, bye!